Would you like some guidance on identifying and discussing the key economic and business drivers for your firm? In this video, we will look at the economic and business drivers for Ryman Healthcare. In the video Tips on Key Accounting Ratios, we saw Ryman Healthcare has had a strong return on net operating assets over many years. This has been mainly driven by a strong profit margin, slightly offset by a low asset turnover. We also saw there's been a strong growth in Ryman Healthcare's net operating assets, with impressive growth rates of 15 to 30% over many years. This strong growth in net operating assets has been a significant contributor to the growth in Ryman Healthcare's economic profit. We saw sales growth has been the primary driver of growth in Ryman's net operating assets. Yet we know these various accounting drivers or numbers are not really driving the performance of Ryman Healthcare, but are themselves merely passengers on the journey. In this video, we will look at the economic and business drivers of these accounting drivers of net operating assets, the real drivers. Some of the key economic and business drivers of Ryman Healthcare's strong profit margin were strong development margins, growth in residential property values, which led to upward revaluations of Ryman Healthcare's properties, strong demand for retirement village units. This is due to growth in the 75 plus age group in New Zealand and Australia, and a growing proportion of people in that age group wishing to live in retirement villages. Ryman Healthcare's significant capacity to develop, own and manage retirement villages, and residents in retirement villages units on average stay in their units about 7 years. This means every 7 years, Ryman Healthcare is on average able to resell occupation rights to each of its retirement village units. And high occupancy levels of Ryman's retirement village units, serviced apartments and rest home and hospital beds. This relates to several factors, including overall market demand, as well as Ryman's reputation, quality of service, and the effectiveness of its marketing. Some of the key economic and business drivers of Ryman Healthcare's net operating assets in the past have been strong demand for retirement village units, Ryman Healthcare's capacity to develop, own and manage retirement villages, the regulatory environment. Ryman Healthcare receives a large proportion of its care fees from the government. There is the potential the government could change its policy in relation to these subsidies. And industry competition. There is an element of local monopoly with each of the retirement villages, as typically most residents previously have lived within 10 kilometres of their retirement village. It is also difficult to identify and acquire suitable sites for retirement villages. Once we move from examining accounting drivers to considering economic and business drivers of a firm, experience and ability to make sound commercial judgments become critical. The focus shifts from engaging with our firm's financial statements to engaging directly with our firm's economic and business realities. As each firm will be different, sources of information and how these assessments and judgments are made will vary considerably. However, there are a few general principles to bear in mind. These are to identify the key accounting drivers of a firm and to focus our examination on the economic and business realities of a firm that drive these key accounting drivers. We will be essentially seeking to connect the accounting drivers of the firm with its economic and business drivers. We've started to consider some of the key economic and business drivers that might be driving or causing the level of Ryman Healthcare's accounting drivers, such as its strong profit margin, strong sales growth, and strong growth in net operating assets. So far, we have only been looking at the past, a trip already taken by equity investors. No one ever got rich simply by analysing the past. Our only interest in understanding the past accounting drivers and economic and business drivers of our firm is to prepare us to ask a key question. How do we expect the economic and business drivers, accounting drivers, and thus free cash flow and economic profit for our firm to change in the future? We will look at how we forecast the economic and business drivers and key accounting drivers and arrive at a value for our firm in the video Tips on Forecasting and Valuation.